So I started reading a book to kind of take a break from PJO briefly, branch out a little bit. I mean, I've read tons of books. Just right now with the group that I formed, it was formed specifically around PJO. However, everybody that's in it loves books. So I'm trying to figure out a way to like cultivate a group environment. I don't know if I want to do like everybody reads the same books and we discuss it, or everybody reads their books and then we just get together and discuss said books. And obviously, the more people I can get to read PJO in that would be freaking fantastic. But I needed a little bit of a palate cleanser before I reread the Heroes of Olympus series. So I am reading The Cerulean Sea, well, The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. I, wow. I have already read it. I completed that one. And I'm currently reading Beyond the Sea, which is the sequel to it. But short explanation. So I'm going to try to keep it spoiler free, but at the same time, I can't guarantee anything because I'm not always good about that. So just beware spoilers just in case. It's fantasy, and the author is LGBTQ representation in his fantasy. It follows the protagonist, that's Linus Baker, and he's kind of like boring, and he's a caseworker that's in his 40s, which I guess like most caseworkers have moved on at this age up the ladder. He's just had no desire to do so, but he's just, part of the machine. And yeah, he's good at his job, but like he's also numb to what's going on as a caseworker because he claims he has to be because he doesn't want to get attached. But at the same time, you can't live your life, not really feeling or caring or getting attached to someone or something. Super upper management or something. Oh, shoot. But like higher upper management calls him to their office and they want him to go on a super special mission that's like top secret, and he has to go to an island out in the sea to investigate the orphanage that's out there. The person who's in charge of the orphanage is Arthur Parnassus, and there are six dangerous magical beings, children that are there. They live in a world that magical beings have to be registered, and the children normally have to go into an orphanage and they are monitored. Linus's job is always to make sure that they're safe and are running within the guidelines of company. And then he just moves on. He doesn't really think about these, orphanages after whether they get closed or they get to stay open. He just moves on. So the super dangerous children are a gnome named Talia, a wyvern named Theodore, a forest sprite named Fee, a boy named Sal, and a creature named Chauncey. Sorry. He's like a jellyfish, almost green. No one like truly knows what he is. And then the Antichrist, which his full name is Lucifer, but they all call him Lucy. But one of the things that I wanted to bring up about the book was when Lucy has a nightmare and he wakes the entire orphanage up. And when he's having the nightmare, it like shakes everything and like everything levitates or whatever. In the aftermath, when he wakes up, I started to cry because his description of what he experiences during that nightmare is the same aftermath. And even during experience, minus like I don't make things levitate, obviously. I mean, that would make it more interesting if I did. The screaming and flailing and whatever that happens, but the aftermath is exactly the same as the aftermath that I have after a night terror. So I know that night terrors and nightmares are two different things. They happen at two different points in the REM cycle. So like part of me wonders if that nightmare, yeah, he had dreams about spiders going through his brain or whatever, but in reality, it is definitely a night terror. And yeah, part of me is like, when was this happening? Did it happen earlier in the night or at the end of, in the morning? Fun fact, night terrors happen within the first half hour to hour of falling asleep. Nightmares typically happen in the wee hours of the morning because that is when you're coming up and out of your REM cycle, and that is when you tend to have nightmares. So, and the night terrors typically aren't associated with actual like storylines in your brain. Normally it's just like a terror, fear, or like an entity. So like for me, I would have it to where it almost seemed like a dementor is coming out my face, and then I can't breathe, which is they think I have sleep apnea. We're getting that figured out soon. That's a whole other story. Very good book. Go listen to it. Listening to the second one, and then I'm going to jump over to Heroes of Olympus, and then I am going to give one of the Brandon Sanderson books a shot.